Are you going to tell us when, Chris?
Yes, thank you, Pete. Ruined the introduction of the video. Well done. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the March video special for the FFUK Mini League. And it is special this month because I don't just have Pete with me this time. I have two special guests, Duncan Hannigan and Jamie Stewart. So we'll get to them in a minute, but and Pete, unfortunately, as well. It's been a big month in the cups. That's all been updated on the website, so you need to check that out. Well, let's just get straight to it, I reckon. So I've got a couple of questions I want to ask the guys and get their thoughts, and let's see how it goes, really. So the first question I'm going to sort of ask is a bit of an introduction. What's your team name called? Where are you in the FFUK League, and which football team do you support? So Duncan.
Cheers, Pete. My team is called Mersey Paradise, which is a homage to my team that I support, Liverpool and the Stone Roses. What was it? I'm 22nd.
Yeah, 22nd. That's correct.
Just above Pete. What else do you want us to know? That was it.
Who do you support? You're obviously a Liverpool fan. You've kind of gone through that.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, nice one. And Jamie, same to you. So, what's your team called?
Hi guys. Team is You Can't Handle the Hoof. I think I'm 33rd, so not far behind Pete. Sheffield Wednesday fan, Mighty Owls. But don't get down there too often, so if I'm picking a Premier League team, I'd have to say Arsenal, I'm afraid.
Okay, fair enough. You like finishing fourth? Cool. Okay, and Pete, finally, your team?
It's me. So my team has recently been renamed as the Mitrovic is back. I'm 24th in the league currently, and I am still a Chelsea fan.
Excellent. Right, well, that's the housekeeping out of the way. So let's talk about fantasy football in particular. So, Duncan first, how's your season been so far? Have you got any particular highs and lows that you want to share with the community, and where do you want to finish at the end of the season?
Highs and lows. Hello. So highs and lows. I think one of the standout things for me was getting over 100 points the week when everyone else had Aguero as their captain, scoring 5 goals, and I didn't have Aguero as my captain, but he was in my team. The Ginger Prince, Kevin De Bruyne, contributed nicely.
But you still over 100.
Yeah. So I was pleased with that. That was a personal high.
I don't think I even got 100 captain in Aguero.
No, I didn't. I haven't had 100. I got 85 and I captained Aguero. That shows you how bad mine.
I'm in the 100 club there. Have to put that in.
Another highlight for me is actually the fact that a guy I know called Nick Wilkins is in the league, and I think he's still got the highest score, and he hasn't claimed it. And I've met him.
Have you told him?
You are?
Have you told him?
No.
Yeah.
So that's a personal highlight for me.
You should tell him to watch this video, and then he's got the chance then, hasn't he? If he watches it or not.
It's his choice. It's his choice. I suppose the lows for me has been my stubbornness to Sanchez when he came back, which meant I've been in the top 10. I was in the top 10 for a while. But that seems a long and distant memory. 2015 was a quality year, and 2016 has been a bit of a distressful, kind of apathetic, I don't really like this game anymore experience.
Fair enough.
There you go.
All right, Jamie, same to you then. How's your season been? Highs and lows?
Well, probably a bit of a reverse to Dunk, I reckon. Started awful. Started absolutely awfully. Languishing on the second page for Yonks, and last couple of months it seems to have picked up a bit. I don't know. I think probably more to do with cutting out the bad choices and a bit of bad luck sort of not coming my way. Whereas in the first half of the season, a lot of painful sort of decisions really. Mahrez mainly jumped on the bandwagon pretty early. Played him most weeks, but left him out a few key times. Left him out game week 11 against West Brom. Scored 15 points on my bench. Game week 15 against Swansea, scored 21 points on my bench, left out again, and then sold him before the City away game when he got like 14 points, and then just to rub it in, who through my team's named after was my last sub with 16 points as well. So I think when you add all that in, I'd probably be like a few slightly different decisions. I might have been up challenging for sort of those prize money spots. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that week very, very much as well with the Hoof. His 2 goals, and he was on for a clean sheet as well at one point, which would have been.
Yeah.
I think he got
Painful.
21 points at one point. But, yeah.
Not
Now
good. So not many positives, unfortunately. But I don't know. I think cut out those errors, and you never know, might be up pushing for those prize spots later on.
But you and your brother have both made a bit of a run in the last month or two, haven't you? Really?
I know. Well, that's the problem. I thought I was doing all right, and I think he's certainly in the league that I run. He's got manager of the month. I'm not sure about FFUK.
He'd be up.
But he's had a couple of great months, and I keep thinking I'm closing the gap, and he keeps extending it.
Yeah.
Naughty.
Yeah. All right, and Pete, let's do you, and then we'll talk about where people are aiming to finish with. So, your season.
I was just going to say about Jamie, you are through to the semi-finals of Challenge Cup, I believe.
The highlight of the season so far.
There you go.
About it. Had a few tight games actually. There's been some good tight games, but yeah, sort of crept through every time.
Yeah, impressive.
Yeah, it was a deliberate ploy to get knocked out of the main one early doors.
Too right, I tried that.
I thought I'd focus on the league.
So, right, Pete, your season.
My season's been good, certainly compared to previous. Not really hitting the heights of about 5 or 6 seasons ago, but I'm doing all right. I finished 93rd last season. Chris sabotaged my season very early on a wild card, which I never recovered from, and then I went for manager of the month and best game week prizes, which didn't pay off at all. So all about the league, all about finishing above Chris, which I've done very well at for about 2/3 of the season. Last 4 or 5 weeks, slipped back, and he's now built a 30-point lead, which I'm not very happy about. But I have, and don't you worry. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know he's going to be very conservative with his choices, so I'm going to go wild.
Okay, and when you go wild and it all works out, where are you aiming to finish, Pete?
If I finish where I am now, 24th, I'd be satisfied.
Really?
I really want to get in the top 20. The top 10 would be amazing. I would have outdone myself to get there.
And Jamie, where are you looking to finish?
11th just isn't. It's like the bottom spot, isn't it? You've got to aim for the money. Got to aim for that top 10.
Yeah. Okay, and Duncan?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get back in the top 10. It's looking like a bit of a stretch, but a good captain pick, and you never know. Ordinarily, it'd be finish above Darren Russell, but that's kind of a bit of a non-competition this season. So yeah, we're kind of that's actually been so bad. It's just not been enjoyable.
Next time.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I think you've bang on there, Dunk.
Leave Jimmy Chat out as well.
I think the captain's pick's key, Dunk. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I'd say that was one of the problems for me in the first half of the season as well, struggling with the captain picks. Never seemed to get it right, and things have picked up a little bit. I wouldn't say I'm getting it right every week, but a little bit more, and it makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's so important. I think it's one of the key things in the game, and you can't get it right every week, but what you've got to do is get it right most weeks, and then that's why people go with the safety of Aguero or Sanchez when he's on form or whoever, because
Aguero's been a total conundrum this season.
Yeah, maybe that's part of the problem, is that Aguero's been so erratic.
Has limited my ability to. I mean, there's been Vardy's and Mahrez's that you could have captained, and you got Aguero, and you just too much money not to captain him. And he can score 5. He's the best player in the league. So.
By a distance, yeah.
That's basically the Leicester story. Is that none of us expected Mahrez, Vardy, any of them to be this consistent up to this stage of the season. If he'd gone back and just captained Mahrez every week, he'd probably be top of the league.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, absolutely.
Well, I didn't even get that. That was my other cock up, really, not getting Vardy in at all up until pretty much he started drying up. And I think 1 week it was a week that Callum Wilson got injured early doors. And I had enough money to buy Vardy, and I didn't bother. And he went up on the Sunday night, and then I was like stuck. So do I take a hit? I bought like Berahino in instead. And with hindsight, I mean, that's just an absolutely disgusting choice, isn't it? Absolutely awful. So yeah,
it could have been worse.
But, I mean, with like you said, with Mahrez and Vardy, even if I had brought Vardy in, how many times would I have had the balls to captain him? I've had Mahrez more or less straight through, and I've never really. I think I might have given him the armband once, possibly. Whereas if he'd have had it every week, he'd be laughing.
Isn't Mahrez already in top 10 all-time fantasy football? Top 10 squad?
Yeah, I put a thing on the WhatsApp group. He's already at something like 220 odd or something. I don't know, 230 odd. The highest ever score is 280, and that is Luis Suarez a couple of seasons back. I think Ronaldo's got up there, Frank Lampard's got up there. But yeah, he's on course to absolutely smash the best ever record, which is just staggering.
And I think I've captained him twice this season.
I've never captained him.
I've captained him once and it didn't pay off. I've captained Vardy for a couple of assists.
Yeah, I've done that as well. Okay, that's cool. So good little review of the season so far. Let's look at the sort of rest of the season. And you probably by now are aware that we might have a couple of double game weeks on the horizon. And we
double game weeks.
Are they?
And we've also got some chips left, hopefully, if we're lucky, and we haven't used them already. So I'm going to sort of go through, ask you each what your strategy, if you've got a strategy first, and what your strategy is. If you're going to use your chips, if you thought about when you're going to use them. It's just a bit of a minefield at the moment. So anyone out there might find it useful if we all give our differing opinions on it. So Duncan.
Yeah, I've still got my triple captain left, and I will be using it on a double game week. My bench boost was ish. My AOA was an abject failure. That chip is just
a waste. It's a waste of a chip. It's just
it's a waste of
an anti-chip.
It is an anti-chip. I'd like to try. If you could choose a particular. You could choose whether it was a defender, your defence, your midfield, or your attack gets extra points in a particular season, in a particular game week. I think that would be, so you'd have to choose one of the three. I think that'd be, but anyway, AOA, go away. Darren Russell's about the only person I've ever seen get anything out of that.
Yeah, he did it well. I don't know how, but it worked.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Was it? Anyway, so. Kind of plan around that.
Have you got a wild card as well?
No, I use my wild cards.
You've got to plan your transfers for the double game weeks then.
I do, yeah. And kind of Everton, and obviously you've got Everton and Palace coming up quite soon. And it's actually quite difficult to, bar Lukaku, it's actually quite difficult to pick anyone out of there that you would, out of those teams at the moment, that you would sacrifice for what I've got at the moment. Maybe Ross Barkley, but he's not been setting the world alight points wise lately. And then obviously you've got Man City. You've got a couple coming up. Liverpool have got 3 coming up. So there's, but again, Liverpool are extremely inconsistent. So it's actually quite difficult. It's not like bar a cup. And even City, it's the teams that got double game weeks, you look at it and you think there's no real bankers there. You just wish that Spurs and Leicester had double game weeks, to be honest. But It's a difficult choice. I think you've got to do what you can to have as many players in a double game week as possible without sacrificing the weeks in between, and that's probably where the bench is going to come into play. But it is a conundrum. But I think I was waiting for the international break to get out of the way and try and ponder over what to do over the next couple of weeks. I didn't want to do what I did the other week and get Yaya in early, and then he gets injured. Yeah.
Okay. And if you're a Liverpool fan, for all the people out there who are looking at Liverpool players in the next couple of weeks, because there will be people out there, who would you say are the three most nailed-on players for Liverpool? You know, who's going to start every game if they've got?
Great question. Yeah. I like this.
Daniel Sturridge.
What? He won't start both games.
He will.
Will he?
He will now, yeah.
Okay, and who else? A defender and a midfielder?
Defender, actually, Lovren would be my tip for a defender. I can't believe I'm saying this. But he's picked up some good statistics. I think he came off at half-time and we crumbled against Saints. He's had 6 clean sheets out of his last 9 games. So Lovren would be my pick. Midfield, Firmino all day long, although Coutinho's coming into some form. And then Sturridge all day. He scored, I think, he scored, I think it's something like 49 league goals in 69 league games or something like that. So he's the fastest striker ever for Liverpool to 50 goals.
Only in games, not in amount of time. If you think about it, it's taken him about 3 years.
Yeah, in games. So, yeah, but what probably now I've said that he'll and be back on sick bed.
That's some very interesting.
I'm at the Mersey Derby as well, so yeah.
Excellent.
I was going to say some very interesting. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say that's some very interesting inside Liverpool fan info there. I certainly wouldn't be looking at Lovren, but now I'm going to put him in my team.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, Pete, on that note, then you can talk about your strategy. Go on then.
Right, so I am fortunate enough that I still have wildcard, I still have bench boost and triple captain. Don't get too excited.
I'm not.
And crazily, I'm actually on my wildcard now.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So I'm currently setting up for the next sort of 3 to 4 weeks.
Is this the revelation that you're on your wildcard?
Well, you didn't get the hint from my team name, which has changed to the Mitrovic's back.
Well, that could have been you just brought him in.
Yeah, that's a pretty broad thing.
No, not if I didn't have to.
Let's be spitting that you've got your wild card with double game weeks coming up.
I've got wild card. Then we've got.
So, Pete, are you going large on Crystal Palace then? Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, basically.
Damn.
Brilliant.
Damn.
Treble Palace.
Yeah, brilliant.
Treble Everton.
I've studied
Well,
Scott that season. There's a real possibility of him getting 2 goals in 2 games, and I'm going for it.
Okay. So you're on your wild card.
Absolutely.
And you're using your bench boost in the double game week 34, are you?
34, yeah. And it gives me the option. Triple captain. Well, I've got the option to use that in 33 when Everton and Palace play twice.
Or 37.
Oh, he's going Lukaku, triple captain.
Yeah.
I may do that.
And just on this as well. So that's your strategy. Seems fine. How have you
just go all out basically?
You've got a stag do. You've got a stag do getting in the way of some of this, though, haven't you?
Oh, did you? You put this in your notes, didn't you? Yeah. So we're actually going on the stag do across game week 34 when I'm going to be bench boosting my wild card team.
I wish it could have been when you were supposed to be doing your wild card.
Chris is organising it, and he reckons he's just going to try and sabotage my team somehow. I need access to FPL all weekend.
I told him he's not allowed his phone.
I assume we're going to be going to a game. I thought we should go for a game, maybe.
What, in Romania?
Bucharest.
Yeah. Okay, right. Jamie, over to you. What about you? Have you got a strategy for the end of the season? Have you got any chips left?
Yeah, a few. Well, just before we get on to that, Lovren's an interesting one actually, Dunk. I was looking at Lovren, and I kind of got put off by the fact he did come off at half time. He only got 45 minutes. Is he likely to get back in then? Is he kind of as nailed on as a centre half as you got?
Yeah, it'll be Lovren and Sacco.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. What about? I mean, I was thinking if you're not going to go with a defender, what about Mignolet in that?
I can't on principle.
That's silly because he's going to get the points, and they don't. You don't have a second keeper, do you, at Liverpool? There's Brad Jones or someone. He can't play, can he?
Yeah, I mean, you certainly want him. No, he's gone, mate. He's
right.
Brad Jones is gone. We've got Andy Ward or whatever his name is, ex keeper.
Haven't they got like an incredibly congested fixture list as well?
Yeah. We've got more games left to play than anyone else. So,
Dortmund.
from a points perspective, percentage-wise.
Yeah. Well, that's where the problem is, because Liverpool have got 2 doubles, I think, haven't they? And they've got a game in game week 35.
Yeah.
Which is a week when a lot of the double game week teams, or a few of the double game week teams, haven't. So I don't know if you can get a nailed on Liverpool player who's going to play every game. You're struggling to look past Mignolet, if you ask me.
Absolutely, I think you're probably sensible there. That's
anyway,
when being a fan sometimes doesn't help.
My team used to be called Slumdog Mignolet.
I remember.
Yeah, and but then anyway.
Okay, then, Jamie, what about you? Strategy?
So, yeah, chips wise, I've used bench boost. Well, not to particularly strong effect. I think I got about 15 points or something like that. But I've got everything else left. So I've got a wild card which is going to get used. Probably not this week, Pete, to be fair, but I think I'll get it in for ready for the double game week 34. Still got triple captain, so that'll be either 34 or 37, most likely. Well, it's got to be really, hasn't it? You've got to go with a doubler. And still got all out attack, which counts for F4 really. I think the only time that chip's going to come in useful is if you've actually got a really sort of injury ruined defence and you've literally only got 2 defenders. I think that's the only time it's really worth anything.
Yeah, Chris has a theory that it's perfect for game week 38 when there's not a lot of clean sheets.
My original plan was, I'll tell you, because you might want to do it, and I'm not playing against you, I haven't got a bet with you, so Jamie, but my original plan was to keep it for 38 and sort of trade out my defenders the previous weeks to sort of or before to make value in my squad and just have 3 really uber cheap defenders that weren't going to play on the bench, so that you kind of got a bit more money hopefully for maybe a bad boy 5th midfielder. But that was my plan. But I ended up using it when I wanted to play Dele Alli, and he didn't do anything because he'd scored.
I don't think it's a bad idea, to be honest, Chris. But it's kind of been sort of ruined by the fact there's a double game week in 37. So most of your planning would go into that double game week for 37, wouldn't it? So you're not going to really sort of think about trying to make transfers to save up your value. You're going to focus really on getting the double game week players in, aren't you?
Yeah, I do think it's a little bit of a shame in some ways that these game weeks have come so late in the season, because it does make it such a difference. I think the double game weeks, and when they come so late, it's quite hard. I think there was a thing on
none over Christmas or anything, was there? Normally, like last couple of seasons, you've had some, and it's just the trouble is as well. It's going to affect the value of those players. So it's all right thinking, I'll get them in. But as James said, double game week 37 is going to have an impact on the value of the players, and then you've got 38 that's going to have an impact. Do you get them in now? Which obviously Pete can, because he's got a wild card. Pete, you haven't said anything about Villa, Chelsea Villa. Are you lumping with your wild card?
Causing me a real problem actually. I'm going to keep a Chelsea player in.
Aspi.
As P, yeah, it's got to be. He's got to sort me out at some point. I know he's going to sting me as well. I'm going to be on a wild card. I'm going to keep him in because he's got Villa, and then he's not going to get a clean sheet, and it would have been a complete waste of a transfer. But yeah, I've got to keep him in for this week. I've got it worked out to the transfer.
I think that's an interesting point, Pete, to be honest, because we've got into a situation now where the last game week there were quite a few teams didn't play, and if you look down the league, almost everyone's got sort of, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 of the same players. It's virtually the same teams all the way down. But now we're in a position now where with the double game weeks, anyone who's got a wild card is going to make changes. If you haven't got the wild card, you still might not necessarily go for the full 15 or the full 11 or whatever of double game week players because of the Leicester and Spurs kind of scenario. Do you want to drop Vardy? Do you want to drop Mahrez? Do you want to drop Kane? Tough one, isn't it?
This is it. So, well, I have dropped Kane on my wild card.
Wow.
So that I can make. Well, no, for Mitrovic. So that I can get.
Please tell me that's true.
That is true. Mitrovic is my pick. My pick
How many
of my
points
third
ahead of
striker.
How many points ahead of me are you, Pete?
Oh wait, watch it. I am enough points ahead.
No, it's probably about 10 points. That's about it.
I'm just looking now.
That striker's really hard, unless you go Sturridge. But I don't have enough faith at the moment to go for him.
Are you going to have 15
I think that's
game week players, Pete?
Sorry?
Are you going to have 15 double game week players?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm going to keep Mahrez.
Right.
And I'm probably going to keep Simpson. But yeah, this is absolutely a problem. Is that I get rid of all my Spurs and Leicester players, and then everyone who hasn't got a wild card is going to keep them. And
so Harry Kane, his fixtures in game week 35, he's got West Brom. They've got West Brom at home.
Yeah.
West Brom is shipping goals, so he could get a hat trick in this game, and then you're in trouble. But don't worry, you've got Mitrovic.
Don't rule him out. Don't rule him out. Although
his stats are actually quite good in the last couple of weeks since.
Stats are quite good, but I can remember how painful it was owning him earlier in the season, and just watching him sort of.
It wasn't as painful as when you had Pelosi, though, was it? Surely.
Pelosi was the 2-week punt. It didn't pay off.
Language. Okay, right. Okay, well, that's good for strategy. Let's move on, shall we? We've kind of touched on some players who've been playing very well this season, but let's talk about player of the season. I think we're all going to be unanimous in this. So maybe if you want to talk about maybe another underrated player or someone who's maybe gone under the radar a bit, because I think we're all just going to be a certain Algerian.
Mahrez is nailed on, isn't he? But Daniels, I think, is a defender.
I was going to say Vardy just because he was my punt at the start of the season, although I took him out when I shouldn't have done. But yeah, I'm well impressed with how he's done as a player. And with international form as well.
Yeah, I think Vardy, bit of class. I was going to mention Daniels as well, actually, Dunk. I think he's been quality this year, and I got on him, I wouldn't say right sort of when he hit a real good streak, but I got on him reasonably early and managed to get a few points out of him. I think Dele Alli is worth a talking point. I think he's worth a mention. He's been quality, not just in terms of fantasy league points, but his actual play as well. He's just been awesome. I can't believe he stepped in from Milton Keynes or wherever he's come from at 19 or something, and he's playing like he is. It's just a bit of class.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Amazing.
And then
what about Igalo as well?
Well, he had a good start.
A little bit.
He had a good start. There's quite a few players that have had good sort of patches, but really the reason that Mahrez stands out, I think, is that he's done it from the beginning, from the first day till the last day, or till the last game, And there are very few others. Even Harry Kane had a slow start. Aguero's had an off patch. Sanchez has been out of form. Ozil is possibly the only other one who's
when he's been fit.
Hayek's not been fit the whole season, but when he's been fit, agreed. But maybe Ozil's the closest. But Mahrez has to win player of the season. Has to.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. And off the back.
I'll tell you who else I was going to mention, actually, guys. Just as a quick one.
Oh God.
If it stayed fit, I'd love to have seen how Callum Wilson would have done, because I think he was looking hot early doors. And I don't know, I mean, Bournemouth look pretty safe. And if he's back fit next season, it'll be interesting to see what price he comes in at, because if he's anything around about the sort of 6.5, 7 mark, he could be a real bargain.
Yeah, I had him on my bench when he scored that hat-trick, so that was a particularly painful match of the day. Yeah, Duncan, sorry, what were you saying?
Well, I was going to say two things. One, there's been no real impact from the January signings. There's not been like a Papa Cisse that's come in and which you've been able to back. But keeper-wise, I think you've got to look at Gomez at Watford from the keeper perspective.
Yeah.
You think the money and the points he's raked in.
Well, Troy Deeney as well has had a great season, I think. He's perhaps been more consistent.
Maybe not in nets, though, Chris.
Sorry?
Maybe not in nets, though.
No, not in nets. No, he's not. He's quite a big lad. He's a big lad. The problem with Gomez is he has got a rick in him, hasn't he? I know he's had a good season, but he has got a rick in him.
We're talking points, though, aren't we? We're talking.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Off the back of that, then, who's going to win the Premier League? Are Leicester going to win it?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't know.
Really?
I think they will win, but I can just see them being caught so easily. 1 game, 2 games is all it's going to take to completely turn it around. Liverpool, 2 seasons ago, was it?
Yeah,
had it in the bag, basically.
I'm sure Duncan likes being reminded of that one. We could sing the Gerrard song if you want.
Which one?
All right, well, that's easy then. So Leicester are going to win the league. Okay, fair enough. That's easy.
I mean, have you seen Spurs' fixtures compared to Leicester's? I'm sure you will have.
No, why?
I've looked through, and I'd say
Spurs
Leicester
have a
still.
few hard fixtures after that West Brom match, yeah.
I think Leicester's fixtures are the better fixtures. I mean, Arsenal, you can't really rule them out, but they've still got to go to City, I think, or we've certainly got to play City, home or away. I can't remember which one.
You can rule Arsenal out. Absolutely, you can rule Arsenal out every season with about 2 months to go.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but okay. So next up, who's going to win the FFUK League if it isn't Mark Turnbull? Or is he going to win it?
I'm going to go Paul Baker because somehow he's second and I'm 22nd, and we've had 80% of the same team the whole season. So I'm going to back him just because he copies me, and I hope he wins it.
Okay, Jamie.
Being on page 2 most of the time, I must admit I've not been paying that much attention to the top of the table, so I've not really been seeing what's been going on. But I've had a quick look today, and I guess you've got to give it to the guy who's got the lead at the moment. So I'd probably say Turnbull. I hate to say it, I am a bit concerned about our kid coming up on the rails. He's hit some real form, and I don't know if it was last season. I think it was a year before. He was absolutely nowhere, and then he came out of nowhere and finished and won the league, and just got a horrible feeling that's going to happen again. But
please don't say that. Don't say that.
Where did Blakey come from as well? He just stormed up the league. He was like page 2, and now he's top 10.
You can move quite quickly from sort of 50th to 20th with a couple of good weeks. You know, it doesn't take that much.
Sorry, guys. I'm having a few connection problems here. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we're all good. Anyway, we're sort of coming to the end now anyway. But Pete, who do you think is going to win it?
Okay, so I think Turnbull easily could win it. Been incredibly steady. I think Bakes has got a very good chance, but Harrison just behind them has got chips to play. He's got a wild card. If he's on the ball, I think he could be well in with a shout. Definitely, one of those 3.
Okay, I had a little look earlier. I reckon Baker's with a good shout as well, because the thing that he's got about an extra 2 or 3 million to a lot of the other teams up there.
True.
And that's the difference between a Payet and a someone not as good as Payet, basically.
Lennon.
Lennon, yeah, that's a good one. Good one, Pete. So anyway, it was a really good discussion, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Really
thank you. as usual. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Duncan.
Cheers, guys.
And
Cheers, guys. Much appreciated.
Cheers.
excellent. See you all soon. Cheers. Bye.
Ta-ra.
Thank you very much.